New tonight, a story of hope and bravery, a survivor of domestic violence breaking her silence.
I was finally free. I was free from somebody that took my whole life away. You know, he took my daughter's life away. He took my life away. He took my family's life away. You know, he took a lot from us.
Tonight, this courageous New Yorker sharing her brush with death with hopes of saving lives. New tonight, Stef Manisero here now with her story. This is a very emotional story, Stef.
It is. It's been, 10 years since Angie Martinez was rescued, escaping her abuser, like you said, escaping death. And while it's been a painful, long 10 years, she says she can't think of a better way to honor the growth she's made this past decade than by sharing her story to let others in similar situations know that help is out there and change is possible. A tearful reunion after months apart.
This is a Christmas present that I had wrapped for you last year.
Exchanging gifts late.
So you have it for your Christmas tree this year.
It's so cute.
A friendship wrapped in love.
I love you.
Despite its dark beginning.
I'm sorry if I get a little emotional.
Time can't heal everything, but after 10 years, Angie Martinez says she's ready to share her story.
I am a domestic violence survivor.
She says it started like any other relationship.
He was always telling me how much of a great woman I was.
They'd been dating a few months when Angie found herself in a dispute with her apartment building over a mold problem. Her boyfriend offered to help.
I believed in him. I believed in his word. I believed that he was gonna be there for me.
So in January 2012, she and her 1.5-year-old daughter, Janiyah, moved in.
From that moment on, I knew that it was too late. As days went by, he was becoming more aggressive. He was becoming more controlling. He was limiting my phone calls to my family, to my kids. It first started with him tying me up with my scarf. I'm sorry.
She and her baby became prisoners in their new home. The beatings became constant, the threats constant too.
He would threaten to do things to my kids and threaten to do things to my family. So at this point, it was like I couldn't keep fighting back because it was their life or mine. I had to surrender. I had to let him hit me.
For 6 months, he kept her and her baby isolated from friends and family. Then, in May, a knock at the door changed everything.
I saw stars. I saw the world, the moon, the stars. I saw everything because I said, this is my way out.
I thank God every single day for putting me in your path. And that it was you opening that door and it wasn't nobody else.
It was Colleen Price, an NYPD sergeant, who opened that door. She was called to the scene after neighbors reported someone being beaten.
The woman was just sitting there with her eyes like popping out, not saying anything. Her face was distorted, like she might have had broken bones or something.
I couldn't walk. I looked like a monster from him beating me so much.
If we didn't go in, I'm convinced he would have killed her.
The abuse began at the hands of someone she trusted, as is often the case. The National Domestic Violence Hotline says in the U.S., more than 1 in 3 women and more than 1 in 4 men will experience domestic violence. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, fewer than half those cases get reported. Experts say of the cases that do, there's a high dismissal rate for a variety of reasons.
Rising above and moving forward, she's amazing.
Colleen says even in her battered state, she saw something special in Angie's eyes, so she pushed her to get justice. The Brooklyn DA's office backed Angie as she pressed charges. Her case eventually went to trial, her abuser sentenced to 60 years to life. Colleen, now retired from the force, says Angie's story still inspires her daily.
The strength, the indomitable spirit of a woman who won't let her life and her child's life be taken from her.
Today, it's these simple moments Angie is most grateful for. Lifting up her daughter, now 12 years old. Moments she once feared she'd never see.
The only thing I remember asking God was, God, like, all I want is to see my kids again. Like, that's all I want. Like, I want to be able to see another birthday with them.
10 years of celebrations later, I asked Angie how she would describe herself today.
As an amazing, phenomenal woman. And I'm so proud of myself.
Amen. I wanted her to be the same. I wanted her to be healed. And I don't think she's the same. I think she's better.
And a decade later, Angie hopes sharing her story can help make others better too.
And it's gonna give them hope, you know, that it's not the end, you know, and greater things are coming, you know, like this is just the beginning.
You know, Angie says she's grateful for what happened. She said she wouldn't trade it for the world. She says she learned so much in those 6 months, what it means to be stripped of everything, learning how to gain it all back on her own. She says, Cheryl, she learned how to survive in
What
that
an
room.
amazing and emotional story. She's so brave for telling it after all these years. You know, this case made headlines 10 years ago. Explain for our viewers why this case, this trial, was groundbreaking.
Well, for a number of reasons, right? First of all, it was the first domestic violence case that didn't end in murder that had a sentence that long, the longest sentence at that time, 60 years to life in prison. So it was groundbreaking then. And another reason it was so, unique at the time, the judge actually allowed her to make her victim impact statement with a therapy dog in the room. That hadn't happened before.
I remember that was powerful. You spoke with the judge who presided over this trial. What did you learn?
You know, he's since retired, and I called him up and I asked him if he remembered this, and instantly he said, because of how horrific it was, how horrific the evidence was, he vividly remembered it. He said he remembers, he called the defendant an evil, evil person. He said he gave him the longest sentence he could because he said, I didn't believe someone who was as evil and sadistic as he was should ever return to the streets of New York.
Wow. You know, she looked strong, but she did break down upon reflection of this horror that she lived through. What's she up to now?
She's such an incredible person.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
She's so proud of herself. I know this took a lot of guts to come out and finally tell this story that she's been holding on to for all these years. She's actually starting a YouTube channel for other people in similar situations to kind of build a community and kind of create a safe space for people to talk and relate about what they've been through.
Yeah, and I've interviewed domestic violence survivors as well, and one of the things they always want to do, they want to save others because they know what it's like to walk in their shoes. And same thing here, right?
Yeah, she said she's so sick of hearing stories about it in the news like it was today. She's so sick of it that she said, you know what, if I can tell my story and change somebody and let somebody know in a similar situation that there is somebody who can come and knock on your door and could change everything just that quickly, that if one person can know, she says it's worth speaking up.
One can make a change. What an outstanding job you did reporting this story. And it's good to hear from her after all these years. I remember the story 10 years ago, and we didn't have a lot of information then because of, we protected her privacy. But now, look at her. She's strong, she's vibrant, she is a survivor.
And this is just a few weeks ago on the 10-year anniversary of that Sergeant Colleen Price, knocking on that door and saving her. And this is the precinct, officers, the 7-5, different people in the Brooklyn DA's office who really stuck with her through it all and helped her get where she is today.
That's amazing. They really went above and beyond. And very quickly before you go, they call this a new birthday, right?
Yeah,
she's reborn since that tragedy.
That's why she celebrates. She says May 29th was the day that I was given another lease on life, so she celebrates it as a birthday, and it's her way of, showing that good things happen out of horrible situations.
Well, she turned a negative into a positive, and wishing her and her daughter the best. Excellent reporting by you, Stef Manisero. Thanks for being here tonight. And by the way, the New York City 24-hour domestic violence hotline, 1-800-621-HOPE.